So major breaking news, man. The selection committees officially decided to stay at 12 teams for the college football playoff. Now, in theory, that sounds all good and dandy, but there's a lot to unpack here about the new college football playoff heading into the 2026 season. Number one is the same point we've talked about before, with Notre Dame automatically getting a playoff spot if they're ranked in the top 12 when it comes to the committee. So when you think about it, if they would have been ranked in the top 12 this year, which they were, they get an automatic bid into the playoff, right? Which sends JMU flying. Number two, auto bids for each Power 4 champ, right? So when you look at the Big 12, you look at obviously ACC, SEC, Big 10, no matter the record, any of that, you automatically get a playoff spot into the college football playoff. Every conference will be represented regardless. We didn't have that this year. Now, there's pros and cons to that, right? Obviously, all the Power 4 teams, that helps them out because at least you know at bare minimum you're going to get a spot even if you have 3-4 losses, doesn't matter. So Duke this year, who had 5 losses total, obviously 2 losses in the ACC, they would have gotten in. And obviously, this is how elite college football feels. They feel like it is dumb, it's stupid, them having an auto bid. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. Again, I'm not in favor with the auto bid for Notre Dame. But I guess, like I said, this is kind of, helping them out in terms of securing a spot in case the worst comes to worst. However, I do like an auto bid for each conference because you want every conference to be represented, right? And I think that was shown in the CFP this year, right? Because ACC almost messed around, didn't get a team into the college football playoff, right? And it was controversy. It was littered with controversy when they got in, blah, blah, blah. Notre Dame should have been over them, whatever. Alabama should have been. But Miami had the head-to-head, which we have to continue to respect. But we saw when they got in, look how far they went. They beat SEC teams. They beat Big Ten teams and nearly knocked off another Big Ten team in the national championship game before the Carson Beck interception. So this part I do like. This is just my personal opinion. The part that sucks in all this, though, is that the group of 5 really got screwed, unfortunately. And basically, it's going to be practically impossible for them to get in. If every Power 4 team gets in regardless with auto bids, and then you also have an automatic pretty much spot for Notre Dame if they're ranked in the top 12, that isn't, like, there's going to be no more James Madison or it's not going to be no more Tulane. It's going to be practically impossible. And the only way for these teams to even help themselves to get into a CFP, 1, they're going to have either an undefeated season or even 1 loss. 2, they're going to have to do what USF did this past season. They're going to have to schedule like a Miami, a Florida. They're going to have to schedule somebody that's a Power 5 opponent. Then hope, Power 4 opponent. Then hope that team is actually good that they beat. Let's say it's a Georgia. I'm not saying they would beat Georgia, but let's say a USF schedules a Georgia. They win by 3 points on a late game field goal. You would have to hope Georgia is in contention for SEC championship or having a good season, 10+ wins. That, unfortunately, is the reality of all of this. So it sucks for group of 5. So it's interesting. I was kind of hoping a little bit for an expansion, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, just to get to 16, because I felt like, obviously, some people are going to get buys, right? We know the top programs are going to probably be into the CFP playoff, but still give them an opportunity, right? Instead of a Tulane playing, an Ole Miss or JMU playing Oregon, let a Tulane play a lower ranking team, right? Let Tulane play a potentially, let's say if they had a really great year at Kentucky, or, let Tulane play, a team that's ranked at number 16, right? Give it to where it's an auto bid automatically in, right? I feel like there's so many ways that the committee could have went about it. Only 16 teams get in, right? You open up 2 automatic playoff spots. Allow a group of 5 to have at least 1 or 2 of those spots. Whatever conference you want to do, right? The best one wins. Whether that's Sun Belt, American, whatever it may be, right? Let's say it's North Texas. Let's say it's JMU. You let them play whatever for 1 of those spots. Get the spot. You're going to play one of the teams that's ranked 16 or 15. Add the intrigue for an automatic spot in the playoff. Then you allow them to go play. Do it like that. There's a little bit more of a barrier to entry to get in, right? You got to actually play playoff football. Then you're going to have to beat, one of the lower ranking teams. Then you get to play the elite team. To me, I think that's how they should have did it. But nonetheless, what are you guys' thoughts on this new model? Still, like I said, still 12 teams, but obviously automatic qualifiers now for any Power 4 conference, and also automatic qualifier for Notre Dame if they're the top 12 team, which they would have gotten over Miami despite the head-to-head. So that can draw some controversy, especially if you got a head-to-head victory if they're ranked in the top 12. So hopefully that is not a scenario, but this year it would have been, and it would have went insane, and we wouldn't have seen Miami in the Natty. But different times in college football. Obviously, Big Ten, SEC couldn't agree on the 16 or 24-team format, which I understand. Hopefully next year in 2028. Obviously, I know next year is 2027, but it'll be the year 2028. Hopefully, we can see some playoff football, 16 and 24 teams, man. But that's my thoughts. That's my reaction. What do you guys think?